Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? Hope everything going great for y'all out there, man. So I wanted to talk about something that I feel is very, very important. Not only for this fight, Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford, but for all the big fights that have a high demand on it, that, you know, is high profile fights where the guys both have, you know, amassed a certain type of notoriety, accomplishments, you know, different things that warrant big paydays and big pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. You know, fans putting major demands on fighters and things like that, trying to, you know, not necessarily control their career, because as fans, of course, we all want to see these fights happen, and we deserve to see these fights happen. We pay money for the fights, to go to the fights, for merchandise, for we give views when we spend our time to watch the fights. You know, different things. Fans carry the sport economically. You dig what I'm saying? So we deserve to get the fights that we want to get. However, when you have two guys, you got Errol Spence Jr., you know, we know everything that he's done. Terence Bud Crawford, we know everything that he's done. These guys are two great fighters. They both have done amazing things in the sport of boxing, and these guys deserve to get paid. They deserve to get all of the accolades that come with being a great fighter and being on a level that they have gotten themselves to, right? Now, looking at the demand for this fight is warranted. It's a great fight. It's, to me, this is the biggest fight in combat sports, by far the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. It's the most demanded fight. I got people that don't watch boxing asking me about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I got motherfuckers who like, for real, they don't even follow boxing like that, but this fight has gotten them interested in boxing. They want to see this fight. This fight brings in the casual fan, and of course the hardcore fans are already there. But I want to say this though. You see the title. If this fight don't do at least 1 million pay-per-view buys, these fans is bogus and they on that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And all of the call outs, the calling Errol Spence a duck, calling Terence Crawford a duck, all that bullshit. That shit over with, bro. I don't want to hear shit from no fan, bro, if this shit don't do 1 million pay-per-view buys, bro. I don't want to hear shit from no fans if this fight don't do, if the live gate don't go crazy. You dig what I'm saying? Because the same people that's talking about they support Terence Crawford. They, you know, Terence Crawford demand 50-50. They want to see this fight. Terence Crawford deserve all the money and all this shit. None of them bought the Amir Khan and Terence Crawford fight. I bought it. None of them bought it. I bought Terence Crawford pay-per-views. None of these guys bought that shit because it didn't do no numbers. It didn't do no numbers. Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan didn't do 100,000 buys. I bought all Errol Spence pay-per-view buys. Now, given the climate of pay-per-view buys and the amount of illegal streaming that goes on in today's world, Errol Spence Jr. does pretty good numbers for an active boxer fighting on pay-per-view. He does really good numbers. He averages, the norm for him in his 3 pay-per-view fights averages around 350,000, which is pretty good. And mind you, he's not fighting superstar boxers. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting like top guys, but he's not fighting guys that's really on his level when it comes to star power. You know what I'm saying? In each pay-per-view fight that Errol Spence has had, his star power has been above his opponent. So he pretty much carries these pay-per-views. Now, Mikey Garcia contributed, Sean Porter, contrary to popular belief, he contributed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia also contributed in the pandemic. I think they did like 250,000 pay-per-view buys, something like that. But The point that I'm getting at is that you guys can't demand this fight and just go crazy over this fight, but when the fight happened, you not spending no money. You not supporting the fighters. You not buying the fights. You know what I'm saying? Most of you motherfuckers that's crying and bitching and complaining, you not even gonna buy the fight. You gonna be in somebody live chat asking for a link. You gonna be in somebody live chat asking for a link. Why you ain't showing the fight? That's why I don't do no damn live commentary, because motherfuckers be crying and bitching talking about why you ain't showing the fight. Send me a link. Bitch ass nigga, buy the fight. Fuck is you talking about? Spend money and buy the fight. Bruh, if this shit don't do 1 million pay-per-view buys, all you fans is bogus, bruh. Because y'all didn't buy Terence Crawford shit. Y'all didn't buy Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan. But you sitting up here acting like you care about Terence Crawford. You don't care about Terence Crawford. You just want to hate on Errol Spence. You don't give a fuck about Terence Crawford. You don't support Terence Crawford. You don't go to his fights. You don't buy his pay-per-views. You just want to sit on Errol Spence. That's your agenda. You know what I'm saying? So this is very important, because this right here is the biggest fight in combat sports. It's the biggest fight in boxing. It's the most demanded fight. It's the most anticipated fight. And I believe the fight will happen. But all I'm saying, bruh, is when this shit does get made, when the fight does happen, if y'all don't support this fight, bruh, I don't want to hear nothing else, dog. I don't want to hear nothing else, because I see why these fighters be like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I need my 60-40. Or I need this, I need that. Because motherfucker, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see why they be on some of the shit that they be on. Because people who act like they support, they really don't support. Y'all be in the live chats trying to get a link. Y'all be trying to, y'all was hating on, look at the Charlo twins card. They had one of the best cards in the last 10 years of boxing. Y'all didn't even buy the fights. What did they do? 200,000 pay-per-view buys? They had like 6 fights. They had it was like 8 fights on the whole pay-per-view card. Matter of fact, no, it was 6, because Jamal had his own card with 3 fights, and then Mel had his own card with 3 fights. I believe that's how it went. But it was a great card. I'm talking about, it was like out of the 6 fights, 5 of them was championship fights. You know what I'm saying? Unification with Jamel and Rosario, and you had a title shot with Jamal and Deverenchenko. 200,000 buys? You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, if y'all gonna demand these fights like that, bro, you gotta support the shit. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford need to do no less than 1 million pay-per-view buys, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't, y'all bogus. And if this shit go down, how other shit, look at Wilder versus Fury. Wilder versus Fury had a record high illegal streams. That fight should have did 3 million, 4 million pay-per-view buys. Everybody was streaming that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all claim y'all support these fights. Y'all beg and crying and bitching and moaning about these fights, but you're not supporting. You ain't buying the shit. Come on now. So I'm telling y'all, bro, after this Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight actually happens, and if y'all don't support this shit, bro, I'm not finna get on these fighters about making no fights. As far as like the big fights, the big money fights that's gonna take a lot of money to put together, like joint ventures and shit, where these people gotta pay these fighters big money for the shit to happen, where the venue gotta be extravagant and both promoters and networks trying to get paid. Bruh, for those type of fights, I ain't finna be pushing for shit. If y'all don't support Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, I ain't finna be pushing for shit. So you might as well shit. If it go down like that, y'all gonna hate this channel. Y'all gonna hate me. I'm telling you. Because I'm gonna get on your ass. For real. I'm telling you, bro, because the same ones talking about they support Terence Crawford, y'all didn't even buy his pay-per-views, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't buy his shit. And then when the Charlos had they call, y'all didn't buy it. When Wild and Fury, y'all didn't buy it. So what the fuck? These is great fights, bro. Come on now. I had to speak on that, man, because this fight is picking up more and more steam. It's going crazy, and it's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great fight, man. So like I said, if you're a real boxing fan, you need to support this shit. And you need to buy the fight when it happens. Point blank period. And if you don't, you ain't no real boxing fan. And I don't want to hear you crying and bitching and moaning about why fights ain't happening. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.